What's up, everybody? BigSweetC here with you. Got a special little video for you. Today, I want to talk about Destiny 2's new year, the Witch Queen. Now, I say it's the new year because this is the 5th year of Destiny 2. The Witch Queen dropped the end of February, the 22nd, I believe. So it's been for a few weeks now, and I have gotten a chance to kind of delve into it. Destiny 2 seems to be my wife's, favorite game, so I'm gonna get to be playing it regardless of how I actually feel about it, and that's kind of what I want to bring up today. Now, you guys know I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Destiny 2. I really enjoyed it when it first came out, and overall I do I do generally enjoy playing the game, but it's, going on year 5 now. And they really haven't given you anything new. You know what I mean? So the Witch Queen is kind of cool. Goes back into like a Hive kind of based game with Zavathun, the sister of Oryx. If you remember Oryx from the original Destiny, the Taken King. Goes back into kind of her trying to claim her revenge, come back into the universe. And claim her revenge for taking down Oryx. And so you just kind of get more of the same, to be honest with you. There is a new planet, there's a new location called Zavathun's Throne World, but it's really just a new take on the moon. All it is filled with Hive. The cool thing about it, there's Lucent Hive, which are Hive that have basically stolen the power of the light, and they have power of the light now too, so they can turn into void characters, arc characters, solar characters, which is in itself kind of cool. They have their own ghosts that if you kill them, but if you don't smash the ghost, that ghost can actually resurrect the enemy and the boss fight can continue. So it is, it's kind of cool. It's got decent idea to it, but again, it doesn't really bring any freshness to the game. It's just kind of more of the same, and it was kind of disheartening in the fact because they keep taking away content that I've already purchased. So they've removed everything from Forsaken and before, outside of the Dreaming City. Now there's a couple of strikes I think that take place in the Dreaming City, so they've kept those strikes as well. But for the most part, content that I've purchased has been removed from the game, and that kind of irks me in a way that, Nintendo should irk you in their ridiculously difficult way of preserving their games. Now, at least with Nintendo, I can go out and buy a cheap emulator, or if I keep my original Nintendo and the game, the cartridges themselves, I can still go back and play them if I can find a TV or a monitor to plug them into. You can't really do that with this. It's been vaulted, so to speak. So because it's a massively multiplayer online game, you can't. It's not like I can just go to an old edition of Destiny 2 and play those things anymore. And that's really stupid in my opinion. Now Bungie's going to go out and say that it's because they want to keep the size of the game down. But I can't really believe that either, because Warframe is gigantic and they keep adding content without really removing anything. Sure, they vault some primes that you can get and they release them from time to time. But every planet that was there in day 1 is still there. You can go, you can still do day 1 missions along with all the new stuff that they've come out with, and that, it's not huge in terms of space on the computer or on your Xbox or on your PlayStation. So I feel like Bungie's using size as kind of an excuse, and they're literally taking content away from you if you've already purchased it, and kind of requiring you to purchase more. And so like if I add it all up, I've probably spent $300 or $400 on this game. And like now having, you know, $300 or $400 for a game that's continually adapting for 5 years would seem, I mean, okay, but that's like $100 a year almost. You know, games are already expensive enough. This new edition, the Witch Queen, is $40. I do believe it's on sale right now, but it's normally $40, and that's essentially the price of a full game almost. I know games are like $60 now, maybe 70, depending on if you get it on the Series X or like the PS5. But I mean, you're paying basically full price for a DLC. You know, like it's very, very overpriced for how little content you actually get and how much content they actually take away from you. And so, in my opinion, I don't know if $40 is really worth it. That's very expensive. For a little while there, we were able to get away with it for free because it was on Game Pass. Now that Sony has bought Bungie, they've decided to remove it from Game Pass, and I mean, I don't blame them. But like, $40 for a DLC is outrageous. Like, it's so expensive. Like, a DLC should be about $10, 15 at the most, if it's like, you know, the size of another full game. But like, I mean, it's maybe a few hours of story. And yeah, there's a new raid, but they also have removed a couple of the previous raids. You know, so like, you're paying for more stuff even though you're not getting any more stuff. You know, that'd be like trading in my PS3 to buy a PS4, and they don't give me any money for the PS3, and they charge me full price for the PS4. You know, why would I do that? Like, there's just no, it just doesn't make any business sense for the consumer. You know, it's very anti-consumer. Now, they do have some interesting things that they've added to it. You can craft weapons now. The new weapon is a glaive, which is all right. My wife loves it, but it's a melee and a short range weapon all at the same time. It's also got some defensive capabilities. It puts up like a shield in front of you. But I mean, even the weapons that you can craft are just base level games. It's not like you can craft like exotic weapons and stuff like that. You can't re-roll exotic weapons. You can't re-roll weapons that you've gotten. You know, like you still can't improve their statistics. Like I don't understand why I can't like improve stats on my armor outside of leveling them up to the full potential. Like, what if I really like this armor that I have, but I'd rather have more, you know, like I'd rather take away from the 20 mobility that I have and make it 10 mobility, 10 intelligence. You know, like you still can't do that kind of thing. You still can't switch the look of your armor to whatever it is that you want. Now, again, I understand why you can't change exotics. You can't make stuff look like exotics. People have to know what they're going up against specifically in like the PvP world. But I still don't understand why all legendary equipment, I can't just morph into whatever legendary equipment I want it to be. That literally makes me no sense whatsoever. And the only reason I could think of that they would do it this way is because they're trying to encourage you to buy stuff, like the in-game purchases, the ornaments and stuff that you get, the seasonal pass that you can purchase, and all this stuff. And it just doesn't, it just doesn't benefit the consumer at all. Now, it would be different if like different armor had, you know, different bonuses, I guess. But if I just want it to look like a piece of armor that I don't have, I don't understand why I can't do that. Like, I mean, shoot, freaking Diablo 3 came out a decade ago, and I can change any piece of weaponry or armor that I have into any piece of weapon or armory in the game. And like, I don't understand why Destiny won't do that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me for them not to give you that option. And then, you know, kind of along the same lines is you have your weekly routines. You can do 8 bounties for powerful gear. You have your gambit, you have your crucible, you have your strikes for your pinnacle gear. If you happen to buy the seasonal pass, you get you can do the seasonal pass stuff for an additional pinnacle gear every week. But at the end of the day, like, you're just doing the exact same stuff that you were doing last year before the Witch Queen came out. Now, I haven't gone through the entire campaign. Truth is, my wife really just likes playing Crucible and Gambit. And so, I mean, I can't really tell you if the story is like great or not. But the couple of missions that I have done, they're just standard missions, you know? Like, I haven't been blown away by the lore or anything, because you still have to go through all these stupid little things that you find, these pieces of paper, and then you gotta go to the website to get more. And, like, it just seems like a cop-out, you know? Like, whoever it is that's writing these stories, they only have to write half the story. And so, I don't really know what I would give this as a review, you know? It's just kind of more of the same. I know IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. I wouldn't go that high, but I'll give it better than a 5, just because they do have the new weapon manufacturing. But then, even in that instance, you can't just create any weapon that you want. Like, you have to have dismantled it, so you have the blueprint or whatever. And so it's like, what if I go the entire game without getting this one specific drop, but I really want to test out this gun? And again, they're not exotics. It's not like I'm building like an exotic weapon that goes around and acts like a golden gun where I can kill everything even if I shoot them in the toe from 8 million miles away. Like, they just don't have that in the game, and so why can't I just create any weapon that's available? You know, at least if you're just gonna stick it to legendary weapons, why can't I just create legendary weapons? You know, why do I have to earn it and then dismantle it? Just like little tiny things that don't make any sense whatsoever, that Bungie apparently has never thought of. Bungie reminds me of that company that just makes games and then never plays the game that they make. Like, that's what I gather. You know, that's what I feel like when I think about the people that work at Bungie. They just create these games and then they go home and play everything but what they're working on. You know? And so, like, I wouldn't say that it's worth $40. If you can get it for on sale for half off, maybe $20, yeah, sure. I'd probably, you know, $20 is probably a good purchase price for the Witch Queen, but not full price. Like I said, right now I think it's on sale. At least on Xbox, I think you get a few bucks off. I think you get like $8 off. That's not a good quality sale. 20% is not good enough for this one. Base level game that literally isn't anything other than a bona fide DLC. You shouldn't be spending any more than $20, and even $20, in my opinion, might be too expensive for this. You know, realistically, $40 should get you not only the Witch Queen campaign, but 3 or 4 additional DLCs for the remainder of year 5. And so I can't give this one 2 thumbs up, even though I do play it a lot with my wife, and my wife does love the game very much. But there's just so much better out there right now. You've got Elden Ring, you've got Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, which is the sleeper hit of the summer. That game is fantastic. If you and then there's other stuff coming out that I can't even think of right now. You know, like, we recently had, I shouldn't say recently, it's been a few months now, but you know, a few months ago, Metroid Dread came out for Nintendo. That would be a better purchase than this would be. And then I know I'm drawing a blank, but there's a few things coming up, and there's just so much better out there right now that $40 for Destiny 2 just doesn't seem very feasible to me. Now, having said all this, I will give Bungie credit for one thing. They have definitely shown up 343. This is without a doubt better, a better purchase. And I know Halo Infinite is free, but this is definitely a better game than Halo Infinite. And so all of the people that left Bungie to go back to Microsoft and create Halo Infinite should be punching themselves in the face right now, because this is definitely the better version. And if you don't understand the reference why I'm bringing up Halo, Bungie was started by the creators of Halo, and so they left to make something new. Ironically, they haven't been really making anything new, but in the end, Halo Infinite has got like 5,000 people playing it. For an MMORPG that's free to play, that is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. Whereas Destiny 2, now, I don't know if it's still got, a million people playing it, but there was roughly a million pre-orders of this game. So people were definitely much more excited about this one than the other Bungie-esque type game. Now, you heard it here first. I told you Halo Infinite was going to be trash. And it looks like it's just going to continue being trash, because instead of fixing their game and giving you the rest of it, it's still in beta mode, it feels like, from what I understand. They're giving you cookbooks and stuff now. So Microsoft is an absolute abysmal mess. And Bungie definitely won this round. Although I don't know if that's a glowing review or not, because it's still not worth the $40 that you have to pay for it. Like I said, if you can find it on sale, $20. If you can find it less than that, it's probably worth the pickup if you're a Destiny 2 fan or a first-person shooter fan. But do not pay full price for this. Now, in my case, because my wife plays it and we game share, thanks to Microsoft, it really was only $20 to me and then $20 to her, so to speak, right? So I can justify the purchase, even though I don't think it's worth that amount of money. But at least I'm getting 2 copies out of it, and that's enough for me, I guess. Happy wife, happy life. But I just wanted to bring this out because I was going to try and get through the campaign again, just to see how it was. But it hasn't piqued my wife's interest enough to want to continue playing the actual story. So that's gotta speak volumes for the quality of game that it actually is. Having said all that, if you've been into it, if you've been getting down with the Witch Queen, please let me know. What is your new favorite stuff? I am not a huge fan of the changes they made to Gambit, specifically the Primeval goes back and forth between being invulnerable and you have to kill the envoy to being able to be attacked, and then after a certain period of time he goes back to being immune to all damage, and you have to go and attack another envoy. It doesn't seem like it really added anything to it, but if you've been enjoying it, let me know. If I'm totally off on this one, let me know. Hit the comments down below. If you don't like it, let me know what you don't like about it, because I'm curious on that too. So either way, that's going to do it for this one. BigSweetC, that's me. Wishing YouTube, that's you. Wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it might be. As long as you're watching, I'm wishing you a wonderful watching time. Sweetness, signing off. Peace.